In 2019, in response to a story about Syria, you wrote that the Republican Party has debased itself at the altar of Trump and now is the party of ethnic cleansing.
Senator Tom Cotton pressing a former aide to Biden during the Obama era in a tough confirmation hearing. Colin Kahl is the nominee for the Pentagon's top policy advisor job, but his past criticism of Republicans and his record on foreign policy could cast a shadow over his nomination. Senator Cotton is a member of the Armed Services Committee and joins us now. What's your major concern about this nomination?
Good morning, Dan. It's good to be on with you. The Undersecretary of Defense for Policy is one of the most important jobs in the government, certainly one of the most important jobs in the Department of Defense. This is the person that leads thousands of people to set national security policy for our nation. Colin Kahl has been wrong about almost every major issue in recent times. He was one of the most vocal and ardent defenders of the Iran nuclear deal. He opposed the killing of Iran's terrorist mastermind, Qasem Soleimani. He's very weak on Israel. But as that clip pointed out, Dana, he also has a long record of volatile outbursts, of intemperate and unbalanced rants against people who merely disagree with him. That's not the kind of temperament we need in such a critical job in the Department of Defense.
Senator, I want to play a clip of his response to some of those accusations. Here's what he said about it.
There were a number of positions that President Trump took that I strongly opposed. I think the language that I used in opposing those was sometimes disrespectful. And for that, I apologize. I understand that the position of the Undersecretary of Defense for Policy, while it's a political appointment, is not a political job. It's a policy job.
I've seen some of his tweets. They're strong, but he just said, I apologize. Is that acceptable?
Well, look, I think it's appropriate to apologize. He didn't need to apologize to me. I don't think he needs to apologize to many other senators. We're used to very tough criticism. This is not about mean tweets. This is about temperament. He said in that answer also yesterday, Bill, that he got kind of swept up in the moment, in the heat of the moment. Most of these social media posts were happening in the middle of the night, when he was presumably sitting at home reading the news. If that's his reaction under such conditions, just sitting at home reading the news, what is he going to be like in the Pentagon when Iran hijacks another American boat or China shoots down American aircraft? Again, I don't think his temperament is suited to be the number 3 official in our Department of Defense.
What about proactively? What is the most important? When you think about the policy direction of the Defense Department, maybe the top 2 issues that you're keeping an eye on?
Well, one thing that troubled me very much yesterday, troubled a lot of our senators as well, is his refusal to commit to the modernization of our nuclear forces. He did so in a very general, vague way, but we are far down the path of investing in a new missile system that's going to help deter Russia and China. That's vital to our national security, and he repeatedly refused, even under very pointed questions from me, to commit to fully funding that program. That's the only option we have. There are no other options. Second, again, he is one of the most vocal supporters of the Iran nuclear deal, and he was stridently and harshly, viciously critical of anyone who questioned the many flaws of that deal, which I would remind people include many Democrats. Chuck Schumer voted against it as well. So they're just 2 examples in which his judgments have been wrong, and the way he expresses those judgments reflect a temperament that is not suited for this job.
Democrats have the votes. Can you stop it? Can you derail this nomination?
Well, we'll see about that, Bill. I mean, we had a similar situation with Neera Tanden. We established a precedent there, and I will just say that the job that Colin Kahl is up for, Undersecretary of Defense for Policy, is much more important than the job Neera Tanden was nominated to, and it is even more important that that job be held by someone who is level-headed and even-tempered.
Senator Cotton, great to see you. Have a good weekend. Thank you so much.
Senator, for your time.
Thank you all.